Picture this. Venice, 1573. Asterisk, a painter is standing in front of the Holy Inquisition. And no, it's not heresy. It's not blasphemy, not exactly. It's a painting. A massive canvas of the Last Supper, commissioned for the wall of a monastery dining hall. But when the Inquisitors actually look closely at it, something's off. Hidden among the apostles, they find drunk German soldiers, dwarfs, jesters, dogs, grown men picking their teeth at the table of Christ. The painter's name was Paolo Veronese, and what happens to him next, and to this painting, is honestly one of the strangest. Little windows into one of the strangest wars in art history. A war fought not with swords, but with brushes. Hymn books. Hammers dot because for about 100 years, across an entire continent, the question of what art was even allowed to look like became a matter of life, death, and full-blown civil unrest. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why Veronese was standing in that room, and what he did to get himself out of it. To really get what happened to Veronese, we've got to rewind about 1517. A German monk named Martin Luther nails a list of grievances to a church door in a town called Wittenberg. Just a piece of paper, really. But that piece of paper cracks Europe in half. Roughly speaking, the North turns Protestant. The South stays Catholic. And almost immediately, this religious split becomes a visual one too, because these two sides could not agree on a simple question. What is a picture of God even allowed to do? Catholics had spent centuries building this incredible tradition. Saints, gold leaf, dramatic altarpieces glowing in candlelight. Protestants looked at all of that and saw idol worship. But here's the part most people skip right past. Not even the Protestants agreed with each other on this. And that disagreement? That's really where our story starts. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Martin Luther himself wasn't actually against religious art. He let churches keep a limited amount of imagery, crucifixes especially, because for Luther, that image connected directly to his whole theology around Christ's suffering. His close friend, a painter named Lucas Cranach the Elder, made altarpieces that looked almost identical to the old Catholic ones. Except, look closely, the apostles sitting at the Last Supper table have the faces of actual, real, living Lutheran reformers. It's propaganda, dressed up as tradition. There were even stories floating around that. Portraits of Luther survived house fires completely untouched, like something was protecting them. True or not, the message underneath it is clear. For Lutherans, this wasn't about tearing the image down. It was about taking it back. But less than 100 miles away, a very different answer to this exact same question was already forming. The followers of John Calvin and Huldrych Zwingli didn't want to reform religious images. They wanted them gone. To a Calvinist, painted saint, a carved Mary, that wasn't decoration. That was idolatry, plain and simple. And starting in the 1520s, wave after wave of destruction rolled through Protestant Europe. Statues smashed, stained glass shattered into the floor, altarpieces dragged out and burned, and it got personal, really personal. There's this one case I can't stop thinking about. A Swiss woman named Frau Goldli had once made a promise to a saint. If she recovered from her illness, she'd donate a statue to a local convent. She got better. She kept her word. Years later, she converts to Protestantism. And she becomes so convinced that gift was a sin, that she walks back into that same convent, tears the statue off its shelf, and burns it. Herself. With her own hands, she got fined for it. She paid without a fight, but flatly refused to pay for a replacement. The biggest outbreak of all this happened in the summer of 1566, across what's now Belgium and the Netherlands. A wild, chaotic wave, called the Beeldenstorm mobs tearing through churches in a matter of weeks. It didn't just destroy centuries of art, it nearly tore the entire region apart. Politically, and here's the twist almost nobody sees coming, Lutherans and Calvinists, both Protestant, both supposedly on the same side, started turning on each other over this. One Lutheran mob actually threatened to smash Calvinist priests, the same way Calvinists were smashing Lutheran crosses. Even Calvin himself eventually looked at what his own followers were doing and got uneasy about it. So this wasn't some clean, two-sided war. It was chaos on every single side. Okay, so the Catholic Church wasn't just going to sit back and watch centuries of its own art get burned to the ground. Between 1545 and 1563, church leaders kept meeting, on and off, at something called the Council of Trent. And this wasn't just a theological fight back. It was a visual one too. What came out of it became the foundation of what we now call Counter-Reformation art. New rules. No more chaotic, over-decorated compositions. No nudity, not even for the infant Jesus. No sneaking pagan mythology into religious scenes. Art had to be direct, clear. Something an ordinary person walking into church could look at and immediately understand. And this is exactly the trap Veronese walked straight into. His enormous Last Supper wasn't blasphemous by accident. It was precisely the kind of chaotic, over-the-top excess the church had just decided to crack down on. So what does he do? He doesn't repaint a single figure, doesn't touch the drunks, the dwarfs, the dogs. Not one brushstroke changes. He just changes the title. The painting becomes The Feast in the House of Levi, a different Bible story, less central to doctrine, that just happens to allow exactly the same chaotic scene. And the Inquisition looks at it and lets it go. Honestly, one of the great loopholes in the entire history of art. But the fallout from this 100-year fight goes way beyond one clever title swap. In Protestant countries, artists who could no longer paint saints and altarpieces had to find something else to paint. So they turned to landscapes, portraits, ordinary scenes of peasant life. And that shift? That's the seed of an entire tradition that would explode a century later into what we now call Dutch Golden Age painting. Meanwhile, wherever Catholic forces took back Protestant territory, something strange happened. All these churches, stripped bare and empty, suddenly needed refilling. And painters like Rubens built entire careers doing exactly that, restocking those walls with brand new. Counter-Reformation, two sides of the exact same religious war. Two completely different art movements. Both born out of the same argument about what a picture is even allowed to mean. And honestly, what gets me most about this whole thing isn't who won. It's that both sides were terrified of the exact same thing, that an image could somehow become more powerful than the truth it was supposed to represent. One side tried to purify that power by smashing it to pieces. The other tried to control it with rules and committees. And one painter, caught right in the middle of it all, got out of the whole mess by simply changing a name. So I'm curious, if you'd lived through this, which side do you think you'd have ended up on? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.